Good morning. Japan discusses increasing definition of old age to 70. At what age do we become elderly? It's a question we may ask ourselves at different times in our lives, and it's not an easy question to answer. Most researchers, as well as some governments, define old age as beginning at 65. But as life expectancy around the world increase and people live healthily for longer, do our definitions of old age need to change? The Japanese government has been thinking about this question. It has been discussing the idea of changing the point when old age begins in a country from 65 to 70. But is this really important? On its own, the definition of old age doesn't change the way a person feels. In Japan, where about 1 in 10 people are 80 or older. Really? 1 in 10 people are 80 or older in Japan? Wow, that's kind of scary. And many people stay healthy and active long past 65. However, some think the possible change may be a way of getting people to work for longer. That's true. Fuji News Network spoke to people about the possible change. One man in his 40s said, "I think it's outrageous. How long do we have to work?" Yes, because our retirement age is like 60 now, but like extending to 65, and if it's gonna be 70, I wouldn't like it. He said he was worried that pensions might not be paid until later in life. See, that's the thing. That is the thing. A man in his 70s said he also thought this was being discussed so the government could delay the paying of pensions. I think that's what it is. Japan's national pension usually starts being paid at 65, although people can choose to start receiving it as early as 60. Many companies in Japan also have a mandatory retirement age, which is often 60. If people would like to continue working, companies must employ them until 65. However, there are people who work long past the mandatory retirement age. The government has been discussing ways to combat Japan's labor shortage, which has been made worse by the country's low birth rate. Questions. At what age do most researchers define old age as starting? What percentage of Japanese people are 80 or older? Why are some people worried about the Japanese government's possible change? Did you get that from the reading? Discussion. What are your thoughts on Japan thinking of changing its definition of old age? I don't know if it's necessarily or not, but for the pension-wise, probably government wants to delay it. Do you think the change may be an attempt to get people to work for longer? Yes. It should be optional, but yeah. Do you plan to stop working as soon as you reach retirement age? I want to, but I don't know if I can because my kids are kind of young. Do you know many people who kept working past retirement age? Yes, many of them. What age do you think people become elderly? See, that's another question. I mean, physically or mentally, there's a big difference. Further discussion, would you say that you feel younger or older than you actually are? Do you think are the best what do you think are the best things about getting older? Who are the healthiest, most active older people you know? Do you know anyone who you think is making the most of their retirement? Aging is an extraordinary process where you become the person you always should have been. David Bowie. That's cool. What are your thoughts on this quote? Getting old, or it's something like getting to the one you wanted to be, or that. ですかね。